guys, DoordDash here. I want to come to you today with an important discussion here, especially as we come into the slower months of summer. While you're out here, I always say that when it slows down, it's an opportunity, and this used to always be the case when I was in the previous professions. As I always said, you know, every business cycle has a slow season and a fast season, and the question is what are you going to do with that time, that extra time that you might have? And you know, what I always said is that's the time you work on things. That's the time you work on developing new routines. That's the time you add things in because it's slower, it's easier to work on, and in that way, when it gets fast again, when it gets busier again, you've added some helpful routines into your processes. And one of the routines I wanted to suggest here is, if you're not keeping track of data manually, you should be manually tracking your data in addition to any of the apps that are out there. And there are some good apps, but you should be manually tracking your data, making sure you have screenshots of your transactions and all that good stuff. So obviously you've got iPhone, you've got Android. There are multiple various different ways. Android gives you more customizable features that can make these things easier, which is why I've slowly become a really, really big Android fan, loving all of my Samsung, specifically my Samsung devices. They've really, in my opinion, some of the things that Samsung allows you to do are great for gig work and great for making the process of tracking things and doing things so much more quicker and efficiently. Now, there's also things you can do with the iPhone as well, and I'm going to go over it. What I'm talking about right now today is manual tracking and an easy way you can do it. I recommend you try to get yourself accustomed to doing it live time. It's pretty easy to do, and it's certainly easier to do, especially with the iPhone, if you have a tracking device that you keep with you. Back when I was all iPhone, I was all about keeping an iPad mini in my car with me, or a tablet of some kind. Or if I was using, normally I would, you know, a lot of times I recommend every iPhone user, if you're going to be a primarily iPhone user, you should have two phones. I mean, you just should, because iPhone is a little bit of a different breed in the way it handles things, and it's helpful to have a second screen available to you at all times. And one of those is for tracking purposes. But let's get into what a good workflow that will allow you to do this easy, efficiently, and something you can start putting into effect now. The first thing is get a spreadsheet. If you need a spreadsheet, I'm going to attempt to link a spreadsheet that I use, that I've made available, made clear. I ask only that you just simply subscribe to the channel, give me some watches, and if you like the sheet and you share it with someone else, get them to come in, subscribe, support the channel, and they can come download it in this video. Give the video a watch, boom. Nothing more, no payments, nothing necessary. And then, of course, interact and ask me questions if you need to. Share with me some of the data that you're finding. I would love that. Not required, but it would be something that I think would be great, because we're keeping track of similar data, so we can have that conversation. But anyways, one of the best ways that I think that to get started is by screenshotting, and there are 4 core screenshots that you should take. 4 core screenshots that if you take these, it will allow you to record all the necessary data that you need, and you'll be able to do it flawlessly. Whether you decide to do it live time, or you take a little time after you get done, or the next day to map out a session, and they are the following. Take a screenshot of every offer that comes to your phone. So when an offer comes, if you're using an iPhone, set up the back tap. That way you can pick the phone up and double tap the back and it will screenshot. Of course, if you're using a more modern iPhone, it's really easy to screenshot by up and power. and it'll screenshot everything. But the back tap is nice, especially as you're walking around, walking in. What I've done is on my work iPhones, I have the double tap and the triple tap, basically both screenshots. So I never miss it. So boom, 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 whether it's one or two, it's going to end up screenshotting for me. And, you know, it'll screenshot. So, you know, that's the nice part about it. And, you know, that's about as easy as it's going to get when you're using an iPhone. Now, on the Android, oh my, there are so many ways you can set this up. The one I like on Samsung devices is I can get it set up so that I can hold the power button down. And when I hold the power button, it automatically screenshots. By far the easiest. You can also set it up so that I can hold and swipe. And that screenshots, okay? And then, of course, you can hold the up and the power button, and it will do that as well. And you can also swipe down and hit the screenshot button. There's a screenshot button you can set up. This is by far the less convenient one. You can even, with S Pen enabled devices, screenshot it that way. There are so many ways that you can screenshot things. But by far, to me, the best way to set up the screenshots is setting up the home button screenshot, where you just hold the home button, and then also a swipe, where you can hold and swipe. And it, for me, I have it on this side, hold and swipe in. So that way, when I'm driving, I don't have to worry about holding the button or anything. I just hold it in, and it goes ahead and takes my screenshot. Of course, also, you have Driver Utility Helper that can help with that as well. If you're using an Android, if you want to pay the $9.99, it'll automatically screenshot for you, as well as Maxymo, which will take care of Uber, any Uber offer that comes to your phone, Grub, Lyft, Uber Eats. It'll take care of those screenshots for you. But if you follow the screenshots, screenshot at the offer. When you arrive at the restaurant, take a screenshot. What I recommend you do is the screenshot you do at the restaurant is the screenshot that if you go in on an Android phone, you can just hit the hamburger lines, and it'll pull up the order. It'll give you the details, what the order contains, the time of the drop-off for the customer. Screenshot that. Now you have the time of the drop-off. When you're leaving, screenshot, and this time, take the screenshot and screenshot the address or the map screen. That way, when you're leaving the restaurant, you now have it mapped out. Time of offer acceptance, time you arrived, time you left, and then when you're processing out the order and the payoff screen comes up, screenshot it then. And even if for some reason it doesn't show or you miss it, just take a screenshot then, so you at least know the time that it ended, and you can see at least the change of the payout screen, and you can find the payment information later. But that way you have those 4 things marked, and what you end up compiling in your photographs on your phone is a history of everything that's happened within that shift. And on Android, you can actually set up so that your screenshot folder, you can set a date up for each day. So all of your screenshots will go right into that folder, and you'll have a full composition of every order you've seen all day long, which will make it very easy to later go on and spreadsheet out those, you spreadsheet out your day. It will not take long at all. And again, the spreadsheet that I use is custom built for all of this. And then what I do is I will keep track then of, the first screenshot. Essentially what you're going to then have is you're going to have everything you need, because the first screenshot you take, which is the first offer of the day that you accept, you can kind of mark that and know that that's the first one, because you'll be able to look back as you're going through the day. Maybe offer 1 was declined, offer 2 was declined, offer 3 was declined, offer 4, it's accepted. The way you know that is because the very next screenshot is you're at the restaurant and you're seeing your order information along with the drop-off time. Then you're seeing the time it's going to take you to get to the customer and the customer address. Now you're going to be able to go back and see, then the next thing will be the payoff screen. Then you're going to see another offer screen, and then you'll see your 4 your four screenshots of the order itself, and you have an entire record of everything you've done. And if you're multi-apping, you'll be able to see it as well, because you can take screenshots of offer screens. Now, when it comes to the shopping apps like Instacart, I don't always take every single screen of those, but I will follow. Once I accept an offer, I'll make sure I've got a screenshot of the offer itself that I accepted, and then I'll follow it when I get to the store, when I leave the store, and then, of course, when I get to the customer's house, I'll go in and take a screenshot. When I'm done, right as I conclude, I'll take a screenshot. So I have the record of the day. And that way, if it gets really busy and I need to just keep moving, then I can go back when I'm sitting for a 15-minute period. Instead of shooting a video, I'll go in and I'll update my spreadsheet. Now, I like to do it live, because most of the time you're going to have a couple of minutes at the restaurant. You have a couple minutes here or there that you'll be able to stay on top of these things. And as you're getting screenshots, so for instance, I'm not going to log anything right when I get the order, especially if I'm driving. I'll have the screenshot, that initial screenshot. Then I'll arrive and I'll screenshot my arrival. Then I'll go into the restaurant, see if my order's ready. If it is ready, I'm moving. Screenshot again. I'm out in my car. We're on the way to the customer's house. Now, again, I've captured all of the pertinent information that I need to, okay? And then when I get to the customer's house, screenshot again. Now, as I drive away, what I will do is I'll find a safe spot. Normally, that gives me a little bit of time to see if I can catch an order. After my drop off. But I'll start moving. You know, I'll pull over, and that's when I'll go in and I'll just literally pull up my. Now, if you're working with an Android, you can use the split screen. It gets real nice, because you can have your gallery app down below and your spreadsheet up top. Unfortunately, with iPhone, you're going to have to hop between the two, but you can still do a variation of the two and log, or in this case, have your phone up here and your tablet down here and tap, 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 and you're good to go. And then by the time you get to the end of your shift, you have all your numbers. You know your miles to money. You know what your work rate is. You can really start to evaluate the metrics and the numbers that you need to say, is it worth even being out here right now? I'm working 50% of the time that I'm out. Is it worth me sitting in the parking lot? Would it be better for me to go home, let go of this 2-hour period, and just go home and come back out when it's busier at dinner time? Maybe it would be. What's my miles looking like? You can see lots. The sheet that I have or use, you can see a lot of pertinent metrics that can really, really help you make better decisions as you're moving along. But the first thing you've got to do is you have to create the routine of keeping track, and it's very easy once you get used to it. And it's really just a matter of taking a couple screenshots and screenshotting your entire shift. And once you do that, and again, it's super easy with an Android. It's pretty easy on an iPhone. Once you get used to doing it, it's just natural. You just find yourself, as soon as you get the offer, screenshot, boom, boom, boom. And once you get into the habit of doing it, it's all good. And if you have something like driver utility helper helping you, you don't even have to worry about taking the initial screenshots. You just worry about screenshotting when you get there, screenshotting when you leave, and it takes care of all the hard work. In fact, driver utility helper app takes care of the need to screenshot when you arrive and when you leave. All you have to do is just be aware of and take a screenshot of the time that you need to drop it off, because it tracks all those things. When you hit arrived inside the app, it tracks it inside driver utility helper app. When you leave, it tracks it inside driver utility helper app. Although I would encourage you to get into the habit of screenshotting things, for the simple fact that there's also other information that using those screenshots, like order information. So if somebody comes back and says you're missing an item, you have all of the items of that order right there in front of you. If they're asking you if you need to refer back and get the customer's address because maybe your phone goes down, or you can't get to the app goes out, you at least have the address that you can get to the customer's house at, and you know what address you're supposed to be dropping off at, so that you can get there and get the food there still, take a picture of it, and then process out the order however you need to. So it also provides the opportunity for you to get pertinent information that is very, 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 very pertinent. The other thing you can do is, again, use Google Maps to create a directory of well-paying orders, because you're going to be having that address of that customer before you destroy it or get rid of it, which I get rid of all of my screenshots on a rolling 30-day basis because it takes up space on your phone, it takes up cloud space. You don't want to keep them on there, so I just delete the day every 30 days. So today is the 20th. I'm deleting the 20th of last month today. And if 30 days has gone by and I haven't needed to access the info, I'm pretty certain that there's not going to be anything that's coming up that makes me need that information. So I get rid of it. But one thing you can do is go in and put a little information, high payer, good tipper, whatever you want to say. You can do that. And next time, especially if you're using Android, you can do this with the iPhone as well, but you've got to go in and manually input the information. But if you're using an Android phone, you can click the house. It's going to look up that address for you right into the Google Maps. And then you're going to be able to see any type of tags that you attach to that address. So you'll be able to recognize right away, hey, this was a good tipping customer. They tipped well. Former LOP customer, whatever, tipped $20 on the 15th. You'll be able to know right away, oh, that's a customer you want to see. So you'll be able to kind of track a little bit just how many repeat customers you're seeing. And that'll kind of help you understand how big of an impact that's making as far as in the earnings you're making in the orders that you're seeing. Anyways, guys, sorry to go on a little bit, but this is something that you can start working on right now while it's slow. Develop these habits and start tracking and start creating data for yourself to help you make better decisions, help you analyze what you're doing out here. And I do believe if you start doing that, you're going to make more profitable decisions. And as a result, you're going to make more money. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I'm going to try to include a link so that anybody that wants to download my spreadsheet can do so. And that way you can start keeping track of this data today and start mapping out your shifts and start creating a feedback loop for yourself on the actions and information that you're creating on a daily basis. Guys, as always, stay safe, stay profitable, and I'll talk to you soon.